Hey everybody, James with Love My Pups, My Breed Supply Q&A session. Here's a good one. So I've had a couple of these here in the last month. Somebody's dog, pregnant, still a couple of weeks away from having puppies. Boobs are getting huge, lots and lots of milk. And they noticed that on one of the boob, they had some kind of funky looking color coming out of that boob. Rather than being white milk, it was more of a kind of a rusty browny kind of a color. And I had another situation here a previous week where somebody had said they'd actually had a problem with puppies. Same situation, a lot of milk before she whelped, and she had what the vets had decided was infected milk, had bacteria in it. So what do? Well, I think that the right answer is that you need to check your dogs a week or so before whelp, especially if they're starting to get some milk teats forming, and start massaging and getting the milk flowing from those boobs. Because look, I mean, you know, if you've got milk that's there and it's sitting in a boob at 100 degrees for the next 3 weeks, I would not be at all surprised that milk would be not very good and could be detrimental to your puppies. So go get yourself a warm face towel, put that on the boob, and start working the boob, pulling the teat, and get that boob flowing. And if there is some not very good looking milk, or stinky milk especially, keep on going and get that boob drained. It may take you a while, but get the boob drained. You may even be able to go, I've never had this happen to me, so I'm kind of talking on top of my head here, but maybe you can go get one of those human, automatic, breast milking machines, and get that to do the work for you. But basically, I think that if she's got a lot of milk and it's more than a week away from having puppies, it's time to get that milk moving, get it replaced with new milk, so you don't have mastitis. That can happen where the milk kind of gets nasty and solid and the whole boob gets hard, and that will end up with an infection, and you can have to have surgery. You can lose the boob, you can lose the dog. So pay attention to your dog. Don't just start worrying about this a couple of days before whelp. Check your dog on a regular basis. So somebody's got a dog that's got really light tan points. Does that mean she carries cream? Yes, probably right. Cream acts as an intensity gene for tan points. So if you see a dog that has really clear tan points, very light colored, almost white, I'll bet you bottom dollar you'll find they've got one copy of cream. If they had 2 copies of cream, it'd be a cream dog. You wouldn't see the tan points at all. Good one here. This is about this testable, untestable chocolate, and it gets a lot of people confused. So if you get a report back that says that your dog is BB on a report from a genetic lab, that is what we call testable chocolate, or Isabella. And that dog will have a red eye glow. If the dog comes back as BB and it has a red eye glow, that is untestable chocolate. Can't test it on a DNA test. But you can, if you go to VetGen, it will come back as little CO, little CO, as opposed to a dog that does not have a copy of untestable chocolate would be big CO, big CO. So the way we should really write this is we should write this as we should really, if we know what we're doing, we should write this with little CO, little CO. So this is the cocoa gene. The only place that can do a test for this right now that I'm aware of is VetGen. And it's like a $60 test. So another interesting thing here is, are these different versions of chocolate? Yes, they are. If you have a dog that's little CO, little b, that's called a new shade chocolate. It's a very light milky color. And that is an unusual dog for sure. And if you put this dog, for instance, with a dog that carried a copy of testable chocolate and carried a single copy of cocoa or untestable chocolate, what would you get? Well, you would get, all the dogs would have 1 copy of testable chocolate and 1 copy of untestable chocolate. And they would not be chocolate dogs at all. They wouldn't have a red eye glow. So they're just chocolate carriers. These do not mix together. They are completely separate genes. Watching the time here. How do I know if my dog is a Merle carrier? Well, because a Merle carrier is a Merle dog. Remember, big M is not Merle, little m is, and that is a Merle dog. It's like brindle. It only takes a single copy for it to express itself. If this dog was little m, that would be a double Merle, and that's a dangerous situation. It can lead to blindness and deafness. We don't deliberately ever breed Merles to Merles because we don't want that. So, if you put this dog with a non-Merle dog, which is the responsible way to do this, what do you get? Well, you get half the dogs have one copy of Merle and they look Merle, and half the dogs have no copy of Merle and they are not Merle. So there's your answer. So, if a dog is a Merle carrier, it shows a copy. Now, there's a couple of situations where this may not be true. There's a thing called cryptic Merle. Cryptic Merle is a Merle dog that carries Merle. It is a Merle dog, but it doesn't show it. It's cryptic. It's hidden. And people breed cryptic Merles to Merles, and there is about a 5% chance of running into trouble. So it's pretty small. I've never been in this situation personally. So a cryptic Merle could be bred, and then what will you get? Well, I think you're going to get some cryptic Merle dogs, and you'll get some just cryptic dogs and just some Merle dogs. So you'd expect most of the dogs to test to some form of Merle. So that'll be an interesting thing. Don't know much more about it than that. The other thing is, if the dog is a cream dog, the Merle may be hidden completely and you may not see the Merle. So you could have a dog that is Merle, but you don't know it because it's got 2 copies of cream. Okay, so this person did 3 AIs, it's week 8, and they don't know she's pregnant. Well, just because you did 3 AIs doesn't mean the dog get pregnant. And just because she doesn't look pregnant doesn't mean that she isn't pregnant. So you're going to be very careful, especially in a dog that's going to have a C-section, because you can absolutely get caught out on this. So if you are coming up at the point you should be whelping, week 8, and you don't think the dog is pregnant, confirm that with an X-ray or a relaxant pregnancy test, because you don't want to get caught with your pants down in the middle of the night where she in fact has a single puppy in there that you were not aware was there, and get your dog or the puppy in trouble. Somebody talking about my whelping crate. They say, we use the whelping crate for the first few days. No, we use it for the first few weeks. We leave mum in the crates in our whelping system with her babies for 3 weeks until those puppies are walking around and they need a bigger area, and then we transition to a 4x4 foot crate with a floor on it, so the pee and poop goes down below onto trays down below. Or generally a bigger area. I mean, they need to have exercise to be able to run around at the point where their eyes are open and they're walking. But the important point here is that we leave mum with her babies 24/7. And I know a lot of you don't like this idea. They're worried that puppies are going to get smothered, and you keep your babies away from mum. But I say this to you. For those of you who are mothers out there, if your spouse is to come in with a baby after your son or your daughter was just born, and you would then, as a mother, would say, well, where's my baby? And then your spouse said, well, honey, we'll bring the baby to you in another 3 hours, and you can have her for 10 minutes to feed, and then we can take her away. And then we'll do that every 3 hours. That wouldn't fly. I don't think that would fly. It would fly with my wife, I can tell you that. Why? Because all mammals, mothers, have this nurturing instinct. It's a wonderful thing. That's what makes mammals such a successful evolutionary creatures, is that mothers do a fantastic job of raising their young. And in some mammalians, like humans, that goes on for many years. And in others, it only goes on for a few days. But the point here is there's a very strong bond between mother and child, to the point that mother will give her own life up. And if you take your babies away from their offspring with an honest intent of trying to keep everybody safe, I think that's not the thing to do. So that's why our whelping system is so successful, because it gives an environment that is so safe for the babies and so nurturing for the mum. So the way it works is that on the floor of the crate, that we put a heated strip underneath it. It's controlled with a thermostat, and there is an area right around the periphery of this crate that is heated, and there is no heat in the middle. Mum's in the middle, she's not getting cooked, she likes it in there. Then we put a pig rail in the crate above that heated area. So there is a ledge, so there's a pig rail that sits above this heated area. This is the safe zone. So if the puppies are laying on this heated area, they've got a pig rail above them that stops Mum from backing up into them and squashing them. So that fixes the squishing bit. This provides the heat. The puppies will naturally find this. Your puppies, I promise you, if you use this, your puppies will all be lined up when they're not feeding underneath this rail. Just keeping nice and toasty warm. So we've solved 3 problems at the same time. We have got puppies that are staying warm. We've got puppies that are in the safest place they could be. And we've got a mum who's with her babies where she wants to be and not having anxiety. That's why this works. And that's why you should be doing this. And if you're not, try it out. If you don't like what we've got, we give you a money back guarantee. People don't return our systems, they keep them because they work. But again, if you're in doubt about this, give it a shot. I promise you, our patent application is almost finished on this. This is probably the best thing that we have done. This is the most useful thing to you as a breeder, is to have this protected environment, and it lets you have your life back. You are not stuck there looking after babies every 3 hours with them in an incubator, ferrying them backwards and forwards, and you have a mum who becomes a responsible mother and wants to be with the babies, and all is right with the world. You can tell I'm passionate about it. I really care about this, and that really does work. Okay. All right. Where are we doing time-wise? Okay. Should I worm my dog before breeding? Well, I don't recommend worming dogs as they're pregnant. I don't recommend giving any medications to a dog during pregnancy unless it's necessary. If you have an obvious worm problem, worm the dog. Use Safeguard, fendobendazole, very safe stuff, and you can do that. But really, you should be on top of this before the pregnancy. So make sure that you follow a worming regime with your dogs and worm them every few months to make sure they're free of parasites. And if they do show something in their feces, then take care of it right away. There are other medications that absolutely you do not want to give to a pregnant dog, and the number one is vaccinations. Heartworm medications and vaccinations, do not give those to pregnant dogs. You can give them a week before you start the breeding process, or before they go into heat, but don't give them to a dog that's in heat or has got babies on board. Shipping. Someone's asking about shipping with. Can we put 2 shipments? Well, they're asking about when I ship semen in our shipmate flask, do we put enough in there for 2 AIs? And the answer is you could split the load. I don't recommend it. I think it makes much more sense to spend another $150, have a second shipment 2 days later, and that way you've got a good go both times. I think it's a much more reliable way of doing it. This is a good one. There's a number of different progesterone machines out there. And the one that is kind of the gold standard is the IDEX machine. And that is the one that the majority of the labs, or if they send them off to a lab, are going to come back with an IDEX machine. And then the other one is a mini Vidus, or a variation on it. Mini Vidus. These machines come up with rather different numbers. When this one is at a 2, this one's at a 2.5. Not too critical. But when we're out at the other end, when this is at a 15, this one's at about a 28. So you've absolutely got to know which machine you're talking about when you get results from a vet. Ask them, what kind of machine do we have here? Because if they give you a number of 15 on a mini Vidus, that's about maybe a 6 on, I don't know if that's correct, but it's close to a 6 on IDEX. This is a dog that's going to be bred in a couple of days. This is a dog that needs to be bred now. So you absolutely need to ask the question, what kind of machine you got? Because if you come to me with the wrong number, we're going to screw up and we won't get a pregnant dog. We'll either miss it or, well, we'll miss it if we're not right. So very important, very important. Can you make blue fawns from a cream dog? You bet you can. So here is a cream dog. Little e, little e. And we're going to assume it's AYAY. We don't know. We don't know, but that would be your fawn ingredients, and we're going to assume it doesn't have blue. And we're going to assume that it doesn't have brindle. Okay. Hard to see in green, isn't it? Sorry about that. So, that dog, if it's bred to a non-creamed, remember cream covers everything. This is a cream dog. It looks cream. We know nothing about the rest of the colours. They're all hidden. Cream is like white paint. It covers everything up. So we breed this to a non-cream dog, and it's an AY dog. And it doesn't have blue, doesn't have brindle. What do we get? Well, we get cream carrier dogs, so it won't be cream. They're AY, which is the ingredients for fawn. They are not blue, and they are not brindle. That is a fawn dog. So there's your fawn dog. And if this dog had a copy of blue, well, let's just make it a blue dog. Make this a blue dog. Oops, a blue dog. Little dilution gene. A blue dog. Bred to a blue carrier dog. Then, again, it would look cream. It's actually called a blue covered in cream, but it looks cream. So what will that get? You get half the dogs are blue carriers and half the dogs are blues. And so there you go. You've got a blue dog. So you can get all different colours. Just because it's cream and it covers everything up does not mean that it can't produce other colours. It absolutely can produce other colours. And to that point, I have an interesting dog called Sir Hump-a-Lot, who is a platinum. So he is, oops, drop that. So he is a blue dog, and he is a chocolate dog, and he is a cream dog, and he is AA recessive, and he doesn't have a copy of brindle, and he doesn't have a copy of pied. He can produce any colour you can come up with. That's why he is such a useful dog. That's why he's in such demand. Because you put him with a blue dog, you get blues. You put him with a chocolate dog, you get chocolates. You put him with a cream dog, you get creams. You put him with either a AA recessive dog, and you get AA recessive, a really uniform coat colour. Or if you put him with an AT dog, you get AATs. So those are 10 points. And of course, you never get brindle if the other parent does, and you don't get any pied regardless of what the other parent has. So that's why he's such a useful dog. He can produce blues, he can produce chocolates, he can produce creams, he can produce creams covered in blue, he can produce champagnes, he can produce platinums, all with 10 points. So that's why that is such a versatile dog. So creams are great, as long as you know the other things that are there. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. If you like it, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us some comments. If you don't like it, well, that's fine. Tell us why, because I don't like the criticisms that are just hateful. I ignore those. But the ones that make sense, I absolutely respond to those, and I bring those up. So people do bring up things where we've missed something, or there's more information that we didn't give. We love those comments. We don't mind negative comments as long as they're constructive. That's really it. But hey, the important thing is be nice to your doggies and enjoy life. Bye, everybody.